1 minute, you were everything to him. The woman he texted first thing in the morning, the one who knew his secrets, his fears, his dreams, the woman he said he couldn't live without. And now, you're nothing. He's moved on like you never existed, replaced you like you were just another option. And the worst part? He didn't even flinch. It's like he just erased you. The gut-wrenching pain of being discarded, the sick feeling in your stomach when you see him post her, the way your mind won't stop asking the same questions over and over again. Why wasn't I enough? Was she better than me? What did I do wrong? And that's exactly how he wants you to feel, powerless, small, forgotten, because right now he thinks he won. But what if I told you that he's the one who's about to lose? That this isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of his biggest regret. Because listen up, Queen. You don't win by crying over him. You don't win by checking his social media, hoping for a sign that he still cares. You don't win by replaying memories, wondering if there was something you could have done differently. You win by becoming someone he can never reach again. And the best part, you won't even have to lift a finger, because here's the truth. This was never about her. It was never about the woman he replaced you with. It was about control. The moment he left, he expected you to crumble, to fall apart, to wait in the background, hoping he comes back. And you're not going to give him that satisfaction. No, what you're about to do is so much more powerful. You're about to disappear from his world and rebuild yourself into someone he could never touch again. No begging, no bitterness, no chasing, just silence, just power. Because the second you stop reacting, the second you cut him off completely, his world shifts. The certainty he had, the confidence that you'd always be there, always waiting, always hurting, shatters. And that's when the regret starts creeping in. That's when he realizes what he lost. And trust me, when that moment comes, it's going to hit him like a freight train. But this isn't about revenge. This isn't about proving anything to him. This is about you, rebuilding your mind, your body, your confidence, and your life in a way that makes him irrelevant. Because when you step into your full power, when you become the kind of woman who doesn't need validation from anyone, that's when you become truly untouchable. And by the time he realizes his mistake, you won't care anymore. So before we dive into the exact steps to make this transformation happen, I need you to take action right now. First, hit that like button. It might seem small, but it's not. It tells the world, I'm done suffering. And second, go to the comments and type these words. I reclaim my power. Don't just think it, declare it, because the moment you do, you're making a commitment to yourself, to your future, to becoming the kind of woman who doesn't just survive, but thrives beyond imagination. Stay tight, because what's coming next will change everything. Number 1, why he replaced you and why it won't matter. Let's get brutally honest for a second. Why did he replace you? Why did he move on so easily, as if everything you shared meant nothing? That question has been eating at you, hasn't it? Playing on a loop in your mind, haunting you every time you close your eyes. And while it's easy to blame him, to say he's shallow, that he never really loved you, that he was just another emotionally unavailable man, the truth runs deeper. And if you don't face it head on, you'll keep repeating the same cycle with different faces. Because understanding why he replaced you, this isn't about him, it's about you. It's about seeing the dynamics that led to this moment, so you can break free from them forever. Here's the raw, unfiltered truth. He replaced you because on some level he thought he could. People don't replace what they fear losing. They don't walk away from what they believe is irreplaceable. And that means somewhere along the way, you unknowingly gave him the impression that he could take you for granted. Maybe you became too predictable. Maybe you made him the center of your world while he kept you on the sidelines. Maybe you stopped being a challenge, stopped keeping him on his toes, stopped choosing yourself. It happens. It doesn't mean you weren't good enough. It doesn't mean you didn't love hard enough. But what it does mean, somewhere along the way, the power shifted. See, attraction isn't just about looks or chemistry. It's about psychological value. The moment someone believes you're fully theirs with no effort, the moment they stop feeling the fear of losing you, they start taking you for granted. And when a man takes you for granted, he starts looking for a new challenge. It's human nature. It's why people chase the next thrill, the next high, the next thing that makes them feel alive. And if you're always available, always predictable, always giving, he doesn't feel the risk of losing you. And that's when he looks elsewhere. But here's what he didn't expect. He expected you to break, to spiral, to watch his every move, to compete with his new girl, to try and prove to him that you were always the better choice. He expected you to need him, and that is exactly where you prove him wrong. Because the moment you stop seeking answers, the moment you stop reacting, the moment you cut him off completely, that's when he starts to feel it. Not because you're playing games, not because you're trying to manipulate him, but because you've stopped giving him power. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The Stoics had it right. You don't control his choices. You don't control the fact that he replaced you, but you do control your response. And right now, you have two options. You can stay in the pain, replaying old conversations, blaming yourself, hoping that maybe one day he'll wake up and realize what he lost. Or you can wake up first. Wake up to the fact that your value was never in his hands. Wake up to the fact that you were always enough, but you were so focused on being enough for him that you forgot to be enough for yourself. That stops today. Because this is where your real transformation begins. This isn't about making him regret losing you. That's a side effect. This is about becoming so powerful, so untouchable, so self-sufficient, that by the time he does regret it, by the time he starts reminiscing, by the time he starts watching your every move the way you once watched his, you won't care anymore. This isn't just about philosophy, it's about strategy. Because while Stoicism gives you the emotional clarity to rise above, dark psychology gives you the tools to make him feel the loss without you saying a word. He wants to believe he was the best thing that ever happened to you. He wants to believe you'll never find someone like him again. He wants to believe he was the prize. And that's exactly why your silence is the ultimate checkmate. Because the moment you stop checking on him, the moment you stop proving your worth, the moment you remove yourself from his life as if he never existed. That's when he starts feeling it. That's when the doubt creeps in. And when he realizes that you didn't just survive without him, you thrived. That's when regret becomes his new reality. So now you have a choice. Will you crumble under the weight of rejection, or will you use it as fuel to become someone even better than he ever imagined? Someone so magnetic, so confident, so untouchable that he'll never be able to replace you again? Take a second and really let that sink in. Because this isn't about his regret. It's about your evolution. This is about proving to yourself, not him, that you are unbreakable. And it all starts with a single choice. To stop obsessing over why he replaced you and start focusing on the only thing that matters, yourself. If you're ready to take back your power, then prove it. Hit that like button. Show the world you're done being played with. Then go to the comments and write, "I reclaim my power." Not just as words, but as a commitment. Because this is just the beginning. And what's coming next? That's where the real transformation begins. Number 2, the power of disappearing. Why you must withdraw completely. Now that you've faced the truth about why he replaced you, it's time to make your next move. And this move, it's one most women don't have the strength to make. It feels unnatural. It goes against every emotion screaming inside you. But it's also the most powerful decision you'll ever make. You must withdraw completely. That's right. No texts, no calls, no checking his social media, no accidental likes, no watching his stories to see if he notices you're gone. Nothing. Because your silence, that's what will haunt him. Right now, he expects you to chase. He expects you to react. He expects you to fall into the same trap that so many women do, trying to prove your worth, trying to make him miss you, trying to show him that you were always the better choice. And every time you do that, every time you reach out, every time you show him that he still occupies space in your mind, you confirm one thing in his. He still has power over you. But when you pull back, when you completely remove your presence from his life, when you go silent, not in anger, not in bitterness, but in pure indifference, that's when he feels it. Because here's the truth about human nature. People only notice what they had once it's gone. He took your attention for granted because it was always there. He assumed you would always be available, always watching, always affected. But when you disappear, when your energy is completely removed from his life, that's when the doubt sets in. Wait, why isn't she reaching out? Did she really move on that fast? Was I wrong about her? That's when he starts checking on you. That's when he starts looking for signs that you're still watching. That's when his ego takes the first hit. Because men expect closure. They expect to be able to keep the door open, even if they don't want to walk back through it. But when you shut that door without warning, when you remove yourself so completely that it's like you never existed, that's when regret begins. And let's be clear, this isn't about playing games. This is about reclaiming control. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. You don't control his choices. You don't control the fact that he replaced you. But you do control how you respond. Withdrawing isn't about revenge. It's not about making him miss you. It's about proving to yourself that you don't need him. It's about stepping back so far that you forget why you ever wanted him in the first place. Because that's what makes you untouchable. And by the time he realizes he wants you back, you'll be long gone. Number 3, the glow-up effect. Becoming the woman he'll never reach again. Now that you've completely withdrawn, the real work begins. This isn't just about making him regret losing you. That's just a side effect. This is about you, about becoming the kind of woman who walks into a room and commands attention without saying a word. The kind of woman who doesn't chase, because she's the one being chased. This is the glow-up effect. Right now, he assumes you're hurting. He assumes you're stuck in your feelings, replaying memories, wondering what went wrong. He expects you to stay the same, to be the woman he left behind. But that woman, she doesn't exist anymore. The version of you that gave too much, tolerated too much, and settled for less than she deserved, she's gone. And the woman that's about to emerge, she's unstoppable. The glow-up effect isn't just about looking good. It's a full transformation. Physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, every area of your life is about to level up. Let's start with the physical. It's time to become the most radiant, confident version of yourself. Hit the gym, not because you're trying to impress him, but because strength looks good on you. Take care of your skin, your hair, your posture. Carry yourself like a woman who knows exactly what she brings to the table. Because when you look in the mirror and love what you see, that confidence radiates. And confidence, it's magnetic. Next, your mindset. Heal, grow, elevate. Read books that expand your perspective. Study the psychology of attraction, of detachment, of self-worth. Train your mind to focus on what's next, not what's behind you. The most powerful woman is the one who knows that she is her own source of happiness. Then, your social life. Expand your circle. Build new connections. Go out, network, surround yourself with high-value people. Show up to life in a way that makes it impossible for him to forget you. Because while he's watching, while he's waiting for a sign that you're still affected, you're out there thriving. And finally, your goals. Channel every ounce of pain into your purpose. Chase your ambitions like never before. Build your career, start that passion project, travel. Do everything he never thought you would do without him. Because when you elevate your life, when you become so focused, so driven, so untouchable, that's when his regret turns into full-blown obsession. By the time he realizes what he lost, you'll be someone he could never reach again. Number 4. Master the art of silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is power. Most women don't realize this because they've been conditioned to believe that communication, explaining, and seeking closure are necessary steps in healing. But the truth? Silence is the only language that truly gets heard. Right now, he expects you to break, to slip up, to reach out, to check his social media, to react to whatever breadcrumbs he decides to leave behind. That's how most women handle rejection, by chasing, by over-explaining, by trying to make sense of the chaos in their minds. But you You are not most women. You are about to master the art of silence. See, when you pull back completely, when you remove your presence physically and emotionally, you create a void that he doesn't expect, a void that his mind will scramble to fill. Because silence, it creates uncertainty, and uncertainty is the one thing the male ego can't handle. He was comfortable when he knew exactly where you stood. He felt powerful when he knew he could reach out, and you'd still be there, still watching, still emotionally invested. But when you go silent, when you give him nothing, no reactions, no updates, no proof that he still has a hold on you, that's when everything shifts. At first, he'll pretend not to care. He'll act unbothered. He might even post things to make you react, to make you jealous, to test whether or not you're still emotionally attached. But as time passes, and there's still no sign of you, that's when his mind starts playing tricks on him. Wait, why hasn't she reached out? Has she already moved on? Was she never really that into me? That's how regret begins, and it all starts with your silence. Silence is a weapon that works on both levels, for him and for you. For him, it's psychological warfare. It disrupts his comfort. It forces him to wonder, to doubt, to question everything he thought he knew about you. But for you, it's self-mastery, because silence protects you. It prevents you from reacting impulsively, from saying things you'll regret, from lowering yourself just to get a temporary sense of closure. It stops you from wasting energy on someone who has already shown you who they are. When you stay silent, you give yourself space to heal. You shift the focus off him and onto you, and in that space, something incredible happens. You start growing. You start thinking less about what he's doing and more about what you're doing. You start becoming more aware of your value. You start realizing that you were never the one who lost. He did. Because the moment you master the art of silence, the moment you truly embrace detachment, you become something rare, something most men don't encounter, a woman who is in control of herself. And by the time he realizes what he lost, you won't even be listening. Number 5. The philosophy of indifference. Indifference is power. It's what separates those who are controlled by their emotions from those who control everything around them. Right now, he expects you to care. He expects you to still be watching, still reacting, still waiting for his next move. And most women, they give him exactly that. They seek validation. They overanalyze every little thing. They let his actions dictate their emotions. But the moment you stop reacting, the moment you stop seeking his approval, his attention, his validation, that's when you win. Because here's the truth. Attachment is weakness. It keeps you trapped, keeps you craving something that was never meant to complete you. But detachment, that's freedom. That's stepping into your full power and realizing that you don't need anyone's validation to know your worth. Indifference isn't about pretending not to care. It's about genuinely not caring. Not caring about what he's doing. Not caring about who he's with. Not caring about whether he regrets losing you or not. Because the minute you stop caring, you become unshakable. And here's what most people don't understand. Indifference is attractive. People are drawn to what they can't control. The moment he senses that he no longer affects you, the moment he realizes he no longer occupies space in your mind, he starts feeling the shift. He starts wondering why you aren't reacting. He starts questioning his own decisions, because suddenly he's the one without power. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is where your true transformation happens. This is where you stop being a woman controlled by emotions and become a woman who controls herself. And a woman who controls herself. She controls everything. She doesn't beg. She doesn't chase. She doesn't need anyone's approval, because she is her own validation. And by the time he realizes this, you'll be too far ahead for him to ever reach you again. Number 6. The social proof phenomenon. Power isn't just about what you say, it's about what people see. Right now, he expects you to be hurting in silence. He expects you to be dwelling, waiting, stuck in the past, watching his every move while he moves forward without a second thought. That's where you flip the script. Because the most powerful thing you can do, show, don't tell. This is where social proof becomes your greatest weapon. Social proof is the silent message that tells the world, and him, exactly who you are becoming. It's not about revenge. It's not about making him jealous. It's about proving to yourself that you are thriving, that you are growing, that you are moving forward with or without him. And when he sees it, when he realizes that the woman he left behind is now the woman everyone is noticing, admiring, and chasing, that's when the regret starts creeping in. See, people don't second-guess their decisions when they think you're suffering. They don't feel remorse when they believe you're still attached to them. But when they see you rising, when they see you stepping into a new version of yourself, surrounded by high-value people, radiating confidence and moving forward without looking back, that's when they start to doubt everything. And here's the key: it has to be real. This isn't about faking happiness. This isn't about posting pictures just to make him wonder. This is about actually becoming the woman he never thought you could be without him. Surround yourself with inspiring people. Level up your circle. Connect with those who challenge you, who push you, who inspire you to become more. Because when you're in an environment of growth, it's impossible to stay the same. Start sharing glimpses of your transformation, not for him, but for you. Document your wins, your progress, your journey. Show the world, and most importantly, yourself, that you are evolving into something greater. And let your success speak for itself. Because while he was expecting you to chase, to wait, to seek closure, to hold on, you were busy becoming unstoppable. And by the time he realizes his mistake, you won't even care anymore. Number 7. Mindset shift. Focus on being unstoppable. The moment you decide to stop being the victim in your own story is the moment you become unstoppable. Right now, it's easy to fall into the trap of feeling sorry for yourself, to let his actions define your worth, to get lost in the whirlwind of "why me?" But here's the truth. You are not a victim. You are not someone to be pitied or broken. You are someone who's been given the opportunity to rise, and it's time to take it. The first step to becoming unstoppable. Let go of victimhood. Stop focusing on the things you can't control, like his decision to replace you, his choice to move on, or the way he took you for granted. These things do not define you. The moment you take responsibility for your own emotions, for your own future, you begin to shift from a place of powerlessness to a place of strength. You are the author of your own story, and it's time to start writing a new chapter. Focus on growth. Focus on building a life that not only makes him regret losing you, but one that makes you proud. Stop looking back. Stop replaying old conversations and hoping things would have turned out differently. It's done. Now, it's time to move forward. Set ambitious goals. Not just the maybe one day kind of goals, but the kind that scare you. The ones that make you look at your life and say, I want more than this. Whether it's growing your career, building your body, or mastering a new skill, make it big, make it bold. This isn't about superficial success. This is about real, deep, transformative change. It's about working on yourself in ways that no one can ignore. This isn't for him. This is for you. Then, prioritize discipline. Discipline is the secret source of unstoppable people. It's the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's the difference between knowing what you could do and actually doing it. Being consistent. Showing up every single day to put in the work, even when no one's watching. Think about this. You didn't just want him. You wanted the feeling of being chosen. You wanted the external validation that comes with being seen as the one who was worth choosing. And that's exactly why you need to build a life that doesn't need external validation to thrive. True confidence isn't about what other people think of you. It's about what you think of yourself when you're alone. When you know you've worked hard, stayed disciplined, and achieved something for yourself, that's when confidence becomes unshakable. Because confidence comes from knowing that you can trust yourself to show up every single day without fail. And when you build this mindset, you become unstoppable. The woman who wakes up every day with purpose, who chases her goals relentlessly, who doesn't bend or break under pressure, that's the woman who is untouchable. That's the woman who doesn't care about his regret, because she's already so far ahead of where he thought she could ever be. Her regret becomes inevitable. It's only a matter of time before he realizes that the version of you he left behind was nothing compared to the woman you've become, and by then, you won't even care. Number 8. The inevitable regret. The moment you finally step into your full power, something shifts. The pain that once consumed you, gone. The endless questions that used to keep you awake at night, irrelevant. The version of you that once felt discarded, overlooked, and underestimated. A memory. And that's when it happens. That's when his regret kicks in. Not because you begged, not because you tried to prove your worth, not because you played games to make him jealous, but because you disappeared and became someone he could never reach again. See, people don't regret losing someone when they know they can still come back. They regret losing someone when they realize they never had full control in the first place. At first, he won't feel it. He'll tell himself he made the right choice. He'll stay busy, distracted, entertained by the thrill of something new. He'll convince himself you were just another chapter in his life. But as time passes, the novelty fades. The new relationship loses its spark. The attention he once took for granted from you no longer exists. And then, one day, out of nowhere, it hits him. Why hasn't she reached out? Why does she seem so unbothered? Why does she look even better now than when we were together? That's the moment when the regret begins. Because you didn't just move on, you elevated, while he was expecting you to stay stuck, to watch his life from the sidelines, to hold on to hope that maybe one day he'd come back. You were busy becoming untouchable. You were busy building yourself into someone who no longer needs him. And that's when he starts noticing. Maybe he sees a picture of you, glowing, thriving, surrounded by people who value you. Maybe he hears from mutual friends that you've been excelling in your career, leveling up in ways he never thought you would. Maybe he randomly remembers something about you that used to annoy him, but now it makes him miss you. And suddenly, the memories start to change. The things he once overlooked now stand out. The things he once took for granted now feel irreplaceable. Because here's the truth: men don't process loss the way women do. Women feel pain immediately. They cry, they overthink, they replay the past. They go through the emotional turmoil head-on. They grieve fast, heal strong, and then move forward. Men, they suppress, they distract, they avoid, they convince themselves they're fine, until they're not. And when that moment comes, it's too late. Because by the time he realizes what he lost, you won't be available anymore. Not because you're bitter, not because you're waiting for revenge, but because you've outgrown him completely. And nothing haunts a man more than losing a woman he can never get back. He will try to test the waters. He might drop a "hope you're doing well" text. He might accidentally, like an old photo. He might even reach out with something nostalgic, hoping to reopen a door he once closed. But he won't get the response he's expecting, because the woman he knew, the one who overgave, who over-explained, who held on to hope, is gone. The woman you are now. She doesn't seek validation. She doesn't need closure. She doesn't care about his regrets, because she's too busy living a life that makes him wish he never left. That's the real victory. Not making him jealous, not proving a point, but becoming so fulfilled, so powerful, so deeply in love with your own life that even if he did regret losing you, it wouldn't matter. Because the truth is, his regret was never the goal. It was simply a byproduct of your transformation. And by the time he realizes that, you'll be too far ahead for him to ever reach you again. Number 9. Becoming a woman of substance. The ultimate transformation isn't just about moving on. It isn't just about making him regret losing you. It's about becoming a woman of substance, a woman so powerful, so self-assured, so deeply rooted in her own value, that no man, no rejection, and no temporary loss can shake her. Because let's be real, what's the point of leveling up if it's only temporary? What's the point of glowing up if it's just to get his attention? Real change isn't about him, it's about you. It's about becoming the kind of woman who lives with purpose, who grows endlessly, who never needs external validation because she validates herself. And the best part, this isn't a one-time change. This isn't about going through a temporary phase of looking good and acting indifferent just to lure him back. No, this is a permanent shift, a complete evolution, a lifestyle of continuous growth, discipline, and self-mastery. It starts with discipline. Anyone can get motivated for a few weeks. Anyone can hit the gym for a month, dress up for a few nights out, and post some glowing pictures on social media. But discipline, that's what separates the ones who fake their glow up from the ones who truly become untouchable. Discipline means sticking to your goals long after the excitement fades. It means showing up for yourself every single day, even when no one is watching, even when the pain is gone, even when the memory of him no longer stings. Because that's where most women fall back into the trap. They do the work for a little while, they start to feel better, and then they get comfortable. They let their foot off the gas. They start slipping back into old patterns, entertaining the same type of men, settling for mediocrity. Not you. You are a woman of substance, and that means you maintain discipline in every area of your life. Your body, you take care of it, not for him, not for revenge, but because a strong woman carries herself differently. She moves with confidence. She knows she's powerful, not because someone told her so, but because she earned it. Your mind, you sharpen it. You feed it knowledge. You surround yourself with books, with ideas, with conversations that elevate you. You stop wasting energy on gossip, on drama, on things that add no value to your life. Your circle? You choose it wisely. No more meaningless connections. No more clinging to people who don't inspire you, who drain you, who keep you stuck in the past. A woman of substance surrounds herself with people who push her forward. And most importantly, you stay grounded in your purpose. What is it that lights a fire in you? What is it that makes you come alive? What is that thing you always wanted to do, but you put on hold because you were too distracted by love, by relationships, by seeking external validation? It's time to go after it. Your life is no longer about proving anything to anyone. It's about building something so meaningful, so fulfilling, so undeniably powerful that you don't even think about who's watching. Because when you live with purpose, when you wake up every day with a mission, with a reason to keep going, nothing can touch you. No breakup, no rejection, no regret from a man who didn't see your worth when he had the chance. And as you keep growing, as you keep building, you will start to feel something incredible. Gratitude. Gratitude for the pain that pushed you forward. Gratitude for the lessons that made you wiser. Gratitude for the person you are becoming, a woman no man could ever replace. Because the truth is, when you become a woman of substance, you stop fearing loss. You stop worrying about whether someone regrets losing you, because you realize that the real loss wasn't yours, it was theirs. And by the time he figures that out, you'll be living a life so powerful, so full, so rich with meaning, that he won't even be a thought in your mind.